Good afternoon and welcome to our very first show, Interview with Unicorns, the home for your business. Whether you are an entrepreneur, small business owner, or just managing your family's assets, Interview with Unicorns can help. This is where you start your search for the resources you need to manage your money, start your latest venture, or grow your business. We are committed to original, resourceful, and insightful programming about real people succeeding in business here on Interview with Unicorns. To kick off our very first show, we have here Dato Nick Ezar, Nick Bolia in the studio. Good morning.
Good
afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes. Okay, not only is he a good friend, but he is what I would call an ace in business. I would call that. Yes. Most would know Dato Nick Ezar as the father of celebrity chef Nick Michael Imran. However, Nick in his own right is a respected banker and former CEO of RHB Group's Unit Trust Management, which, mind you, he bagged when he was just 32. I'm so impressed with that. Okay, Nick went to Australia to pursue a degree in commerce and economics, but he also ended up with finishing a culinary arts degree, right? Interesting. Okay, Nick, welcome to Voices of Subanjaya.
Thank you.
We are so honored to have you here with us. Okay, a bit before we go on, the first time I met Nick, he almost immediately engaged me in a thought-provoking conversation. And we talked, and we talked, and we talked. Okay, actually, you talked.
That was interesting, wasn't it?
You talked, I listened in amazement at his vast knowledge about everything. I mind you, everything.
We were talking more about religion.
Yes, we were talking more about religion. You know, I really love to chat with you about that, but this is not the place to do it.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, I like the way you challenge my belief in it. I like that, yeah.
Do you know why that happened?
Yeah, why?
I'm Chinese educated. I went to Chinese school until Form 5.
Yeah?
So I didn't go a proper Islamic class, so to
Right.
speak. And my class is only at the mosque, listen to all these,
Yeah.
the sermon and
sermon,
the kuliah lah.
Yeah, betul.
So when I was in Australia for 15 years, I never missed my Friday prayers.
Oh, okay.
I'm very basic that way.
All right.
So I have to find out the word, and I learn a lot of comparative religion. But as you said, today is not about talking religion.
Okay. Yesterday is not about it. We will keep that for another day.
Okay.
So stay with us here on Voices of Subanjaya, where we interview Dato Nick Bolia on being a unicorn in today's environment. Good afternoon and welcome back. You're still listening to Voices of Subanjaya, where we play you the best songs from morning till evening. Remember, if you want to drop us a line, you can WhatsApp us at 010-884-3270 or check out our Facebook page at Voices Malaysia. And as I said, we've got Dato Nick Bolia, Nick Ezar here in the studio, and we're talking about a business. Okay, being a unicorn or starting a business. Okay, you've been in banking and financial world for a long while now, right? You even started a restaurant business with your son,
Yes.
Nick Michael. Okay, what were or are your challenges in managing a F&B outlet and a bank? I know it's so different, but what were your challenges?
Basically, management principle is the same to be applicable in any business you're in. There's some basic steps that you need to take. But I like to make this into a two different portion of this interview.
Yeah.
Running a bank,
Yes.
set up the whole new outfit for the RHB group
Okay.
from scratch is a different challenge than setting up a restaurant from a different challenge. So it's like two different industry.
Okay.
Now let's talk about the industry for the unit trust. When I first came into the market, we owned the Kuala Lumpur Mutual Fund at that time, which is now become Public Mutual. My job was brought in by Tan Sri Rashid is to make a decision, because at that time the government says that 51% of all unit trust company must be owned by the bank back. So what I had to do is to study the current market. Now, after being trained in Australia in derivatives and all these options, which non-existent in Malaysia at that time, so unit trust was a simple method to me.
Was it? Okay.
It was simple. So when I said, I was appointed CEO at the age of 32. So I said, well, this is a challenge. Nobody knows me. I have a canvas for me to write up. And that was the best challenge I had. And luckily, Tan Sri Rashid fully supported all my endeavors. So after I look at the thing, I decided, okay, we don't want to take over existing because I don't like the way they run the unit trust those days with 10% upfront market. You know, the unit trust, if you understand, when you buy a unit trust fund, there is upfront fees.
Yes.
It used to be 10%. So I put 100,000, my 10,000 is gone to the commission. That's very expensive.
Yes.
And the world standard is between 2 to 3%. Even today, at 5%, still very high. Okay? So they were selling Tupperware, and then, by the way, sell unit trust. I thought that was terrible.
Okay.
So with that, I said to Rashid, no. At that time, RHB is new. We just bought over the bank. We had the opportunity to set up a new standard in the market. So I said, no, we opened our own. So we sold it off to public bank. We set our own with 2 million paid up capital. And then I made 17 million, 19 million every year for the bank.
Wow.
And after 2 years, we are the second largest unit trust company in the country.
I remember that.
For commercial, yes.
That at that point, it was big. It was really big. Everybody was into unit trust.
And then at that time, I just come back from Australia, and I have a bit of a twang at that time. So people find me with
Aussie twang, huh?
Aussie twang, very casual. So they do not know what to make of me. But in business, if you are focused, you know your direction, you work hard at it, it will be successful.
Okay, we'll be coming back again with Dato Ning Ezar. We'll talk about starting a business with a limited budget. Be right back.
My son is calling me. Yeah, Daniel? Interview, radio. Why? I'm on air.
Okay, the other thing is jangan ni. I pick up.
Okay, right. Hands down.
Hands down, please. Okay.
Oh, tadi I cakap about the bank, the business yang tu belum lagi.
Belum lagi? Tak
Continue.
Apa? Continue.
Okay.
So, kita buat satu-satu lah. Tadi bila senang I nak edit.
Okay.
Okay, you're back at VOSJ with Interview with Unicorns. We've got Dato Ning Ezar talking about starting a new venture if you want to start up, to have a startup. Sorry, I'm fumbling. Okay, you're back here at Voices of Subanjaya, and we have Dato Ning Ezar here talking about starting up a business. Okay, like I said, I have this great idea. Let's just say I have this great idea, okay? But I either have a very, very limited budget or none at all. You know, just this awesome idea. Okay, should I take the risk? Let's just say I don't have the money. Can I just take the risk and start a business? What do you think? Or do I just shelve it?
Well, starting a business, first thing you must know what you're doing, the business you're in. If you have no expertise, you better think it 100 times before you start that business.
All right.
So it must be related experience that you have, the knowledge that you have, and your practice, and the finance to bump up all these setup. So you have a great idea. Sometimes $1 million idea come very simply to some people. All right. Now, some idea work, some idea doesn't work, and that's where the risk comes in. Now, in business, the risk management is the most important part. But how many people in the street understand the nature of risk? Right? And the risks are being measured with data. And then when we talk about risk, there are 3 P comes into it.
3 Ps?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is pricing, product, and
profit?
promotions.
Pricing, product. I must write that one down, okay.
Okay?
Yes.
So, to do any business you want, right, there are 1,000 type of different business there is. Now, for example, how did you know that Uber and Grab become so big?
Yeah, exactly.
Now it become the biggest taxi company in the world.
True.
So it's a good idea. And now we are in digitalized. You will see eventually newspaper are no longer having value.
Yes, we've seen that.
Stockbroker are not having value because all digitalized trading. And now even the bank are moving up to have a centralized processing, and all the branches is like a serving customer only. So the entire market has changed since the introduction of internet.
Wow.
So now if you want to do business, then you have to decide what kind of product you're going to do, who will be your customer, and how do you promote this thing, and which channel to use.
Okay. So really, really have to think about it. Just
Yes.
because your gut feeling says, okay, this is a good thing, it will work,
Yeah.
it just might not just.
Finance is a secondary. Some business need a big capital, some business do not have a capital. For example, if you're selling insurance products or insurance agent or unit trust, there's no capital.
Correct. It's just basically your hard work.
Yes.
Okay. Interesting. Talking about capital.
But if you're selling pisang, goreng,
well,
you don't need that much money to do it.
You don't. Yes, I do agree. You don't need, but you just need to know where to sell your goreng pisang, because that's down another P, which
Location.
is to me is location. Correct.
Yes.
Or property location. Yes.
Yes.
They okay, depending on the business lah. Right. Yeah. Talking about that. Okay, we're gonna go for a short break, and then when we come back, we'll talk about funds, capitals. Okay. Okay, you're still listening to VOSJ. This is the first ever program interview with unicorns, where we talk to captain of industries to tell you or advise you on how to start your business. And right here in the studios, we have Dato Nick Ezar. Okay, Nick, we were talking about capital just now, right? So I believe, okay, most startup, self included, fall into this self-made trap. Okay, I call it a self-made trap because we always estimate how much money, because we were always told, okay, do your P&L, do your cash flow and stuff. So we estimate, okay, this is how much we need. But halfway through it, katalah dah start, right? So halfway through the business, running the business, we run out of money. Okay, now I need to sustain, because we already started the business, so we need to sustain it. So where do I look for funds? Investment banks, commercial banks, or the best thing that I've heard so far was venture capitals. Okay, which one?
Excellent question. Do you have a coin?
I do, yes.
There's two faces, right?
Okay.
And depend which view you're looking at. As a startup, you're the head.
Yeah.
The tail is the bank.
Okay.
The banking, the capital that you need to do. So what you need to do is, as a startup, a lot of them fell in love with their own idea.
Of course.
That's the toughest part. Even being a fund manager, you cannot fall in love with the stock. You must be adaptable, you must be analytical, and you must be decisive in your decision, because every decision costs you money. You walk the wrong path, you might just burn all this. Now, startup point, when you say about startup, immediately in my mind, I think of about all these IT startup company, right?
Yeah.
Because at the dot-com era, everybody do startup and they're all burned.
Yeah.
But some survived, like Alibaba, did a good job on it, Amazon and all this. So, people do not know what the future holds. But all the principles being used are the same, basically. All right. So for all startup, you must know this startup, is it technology based? Is it product based? Is it knowledge based? Is it consumption based? So you must know what your startup is all about. It is an IT base. Okay. So if your startup to do a hotel, it's a property base, and you must get the right location, the right people into it. But if your startup, for example, you want to start up an AI company, now it's a deep blue ocean, isn't it?
It is still.
And
it's
AI is so new. Not many people know what is AI.
Correct.
To me, AI is like the new electricity. Can you imagine 300 years ago, there's no electricity?
Yeah.
And now you cannot survive without electricity.
Yeah, it's essential to.
Another example, you have a house phone, fixed line?
Yeah, no.
There you go.
No,
Those
I
days,
don't.
everybody have one.
That's right.
Now, telecom lost that business. It's all mobile.
Yeah. You're right. I don't have.
So, in AI and IT, 3 months is like a year. How fast it's developed.
Okay.
So, when you have a startup, you need to know what business you're in. Next, you want to know is how much money to set this business. And then you have to do your budget. But how can you put a budget that you don't know what's going on in the future?
That's true.
So
it's gut
and then you need to find out, okay, do you have this money? Or do you have your parents, your cousin, or your relative,
trust
or your
fund,
trust?
trust fund.
You have friends that can support you. Is that enough what they have?
Okay.
Then you have to have a 2-3 layer plan A, B, and C. If you have plan A, plan B is not enough these days. Okay? Because you do not know what the future will hold for you. So with that, then you decide. If I want $1 million, you don't have $1 million. Can you raise to the bank? If you go to the bank, very simple. Bank love rich people.
Okay.
If you're poor, no point. Because it's about risk.
Right. Okay.
Any loan, any facility they give to you, they must have a collateral. At least 1-to-1. So this is where the financial people get creative, trying to do, cash flows, using this, using that to back up that kind of risk.
I see. Okay.
And the bank also are very conservative, especially Malaysian bank.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So bank is one area. Next is you find some rich man, offer them shares.
Okay.
But how do you offer how many percent? You don't know the value of the company.
Not at that point, correct.
Not at that point.
Yes.
So most likely if a capital coming, let's say I give you $1 million and you give me 2%, I won't take it.
Yeah, it's
I want at least more because it's my money, only your interest, your idea. So your idea may be worth up to 30%. And he controls 70% because of funding. So this is where the crossroad you have to decide. Do I go to the bank? Do I go to a person and offer my shares? If you offer a share to the bank, no bank will take your share.
That's
It's
true.
a fairy dust.
But idea starts like that. Fairy dusted some ideas.
Yeah, fairy dust. Some it turn to dust, some turn to gold dust.
Yeah,
That's
okay,
nobody can assure you of this.
Agreed. So that's the risk you
And
take.
statistically, 80% of new business will fail.
Agreed. Yes. So
So I'm not trying to encourage or discourage you, but please keep on because every economy, the SME are the backbone of the
economy. I understand. So, but that is why we have this program, because I want to find out what it is that make that 1% success. A success, that 1% of a business, that the startups that they are around.
As I said, first thing, if you have a startup, you make sure you have a knowledge of the industry you want to involve in. If you don't have basic knowledge, it's tough. Unless you are a visionary, that's different. Okay. The other thing is that the capital required to develop that business and your target market. Your revenue model is the next important thing. A lot of people have great idea but have no revenue model. I have seen a lot of people, friends, I do some consulting work.
Right.
They have no idea what revenue model. Oh, this is what I want to do, blah, 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 blah. And it doesn't work because the revenue model does not come hand in hand with the business plan.
Right.
So that's another issue you have to deal with.
Okay.
And then
Yes.
you can go for venture capital.
Correct.
Venture capital, there are sharks.
Agreed.
Okay, now there's a new one called crowdfunding.
Yes.
That something is very new in Malaysia. There's one company, a friend of mine, actually, her name is Elaine Lokman. She is from LSE and she's doing a very good job on crowdfunding. She is the main player now in the market.
Cool. I probably want to talk to her.
Excellent.
Okay, we're going to go for a short break as usual. When we come back, more with Dato Nick. But remember to check us out on our Instagram at VoicesMyIG or our Twitter at VoicesMyTWT. Stay with us right here on Voices of Subanjaya. Okay, we're back at Voices of Subanjaya. Interview with unicorns, and in the studio we have Dato Nick Ezar talking about starting up, being a startup entrepreneur. Okay, we were talking about. I was asking you actually a question about between investment bank, commercial bank, and venture capitals to fund my dying startup business because I don't know how to fund. I ran out of money halfway through it. Yes.
Okay. Bank is simple, it's all about collateral. Okay, investment bank are not for everyone. Investment bank are actually for public listed company, big corporates that go for listing.
Okay.
That's their function. Commercial bank are the one you should go for small business, and you have your SME bank. Now, SME bank can give up to $5 million loan.
Okay.
Okay, and they may not need the collateral. If your business idea is good, the revenue is good, they're happy with the risk, they may give you $5 million maximum
SMEs,
per
right.
SME,
Okay.
which is why SME play a big part in our country.
Okay.
But if your business, as you say, you already have startup, you put your money in, halfway through, you're running out of fund.
Yes.
Now, that's where we're sitting on the fence.
Okay.
Shall I continue?
Yes, please.
Shall I shut down?
Shut me
Shall
down.
I defer? Or shall I sell my equity?
Right.
So that's the decision you have to make when you're at that point.
Right. Okay. So you're asking me, or do I need to make a decision right now?
I
Okay.
take a pause there because I want people to really think. Because in most business, this is normal. Would happen to a lot of money. Halfway through, they're running out of fund because the revenue expectation are the same. The assumption is very important. So as a banker, we always look at the assumption that you use. Is it logical? Is it feasible? Is it viable?
Yeah.
But most importantly, is it realistic?
Okay.
If it's realistic and good, then we will go ahead and look at the cash flow that you put out. Because these are projection. You know, people used to sell insurance with a great projection. You buy endowment program, you know, for let's say, you only put $100 every month, 1,200 premium. But you do know that all insurance product, it takes you 7 years to break even what the premium you put in.
Really?
If you cancel before that, you get nothing, less than the money that you put up. Because the charges that hidden into it.
Okay.
And insurance only sell you a piece of paper, you know,
That's true.
with a belief
That's true.
that
And
they
yet-
will pay up.
And yet a lot
And
of
then,
people.
well, that's the industry. That's why I say there are very creative people there. And then, like endowment, mature at 90 years old, 98 years old, used to be at 98. How many people really live up to that? But the worst part about this is, and I'm not saying bad about insurance. There are a good thing about this insurance. People need insurance.
Agreed.
But the products are not well designed. So, the thing about insurance is about persistency. Persistency. Meaning, how many people say one put $100 until the age of 70, 80, still put $100 every month? And then they say, when you retire, you get so much money. That's where people get greedy. So all business are based on greed. And greed is good, Gordon Gecko says.
I watch too much movie.
But this is real.
No, that's real. I agree. That is why businesses like that, institutions like that do work, because people believe in the fact that easy money or scammers work.
Oh, scammers are different mentality that they use completely.
Correct,
They only
but-
play on your greed. That's the first thing.
Correct. Yeah.
You remember those days about gold investment scheme?
Yes.
That you give me this, 150,000, 160,000, and I give you 2-3%.
Yes, I've heard of that.
I have bad news for you.
It doesn't work.
Gold do not breed.
No, it doesn't.
Then it's all financial scheme, right? And most likely they're using what? They're using
The
Ponzi scheme.
Yeah, the pyramid system.
Okay, now I'm in the deep water here because when you talk about Ponzi scheme, there are some government sanctioned scheme in Malaysia that based on that kind of idea. Wow.
Okay, we will divert away from that and let's talk about. So you say the best is SME for a small business like mine, or like this for an example. But as I grow, let's just say, in future I grow and I have that means I will move to investment banks. So to say, like I have
When
capital.
you're at the bank can even loan you 100 million.
Right.
Only SME maximum that. But when you have a track record, you make the profit and the cash flow is good, the business already running for 2-3 years, then you can go to commercial bank to get your facility, maybe some overdraft, maybe you can even start issuing bond if you're that big so quickly.
Okay.
So there's so many instruments in the market that you can utilize.
What is this venture
Now,
capital?
some people,
Okay.
after 5 years, they know the potential is good and they go for venture capital.
Right.
But one thing, venture capital are worse than the bank. The bank only interested in giving you the amount because you know how the bank work. the OPR. When you give a deposit, I give you an interest.
Yes.
All right, and they use this money to issue loan to the markup, the base lending rate,
Yes.
and then depend on the risk of the customer, they will adjust the rates. I'm talking here in terms of conventional, not Islamic. Yeah?
Okay.
Because when you talk about Islamic, nothing to do with rate. But
Yes.
to me,
Yeah.
as a financial guy all this while, the Jew has invented this interest rate.
Agreed.
And it's the best calculation that you can make because its risk is calculatable. And Islam is on faith and
yes.
akad. You can't put a price to akad. You cannot calculate akad.
That's true.
I'm not complaining about this. I'm just putting this in perspective. Yeah. So when you do this with a bank, you will give your projection on your cash flow, and most banks will take it if they see that your business has been growing. They look at your track record. So to have a good track record is very important in new business.
Okay. Yes, but banks will. That is the first thing that I understand
So
about banks.
you want the money, the bank will give you. Simple.
Okay.
If you fulfill all the criteria. So you need to know also you must have some good banking friend to help you out so that you can nurture the company into the direction. And that's where the accounting comes in and your good financial planner will come in.
Right. Okay, that's your normal bank. You were talking about venture capitals because I've heard so much about venture capitals.
Now, venture capital, they base a very simple thing. For every 10 company that invested, the 2 will be successful, will pay off for the failure they make the other 8. They also is in business,
Yes.
the venture capitalists.
Okay.
Not all venture capitalists make money, but overall they do because there are 2, the bet that they make pays off for the other 8 bets not so
Right.
good. And then when the bets are gone bad, the other 8 proposals they have invested in, then they send in people, they start to rescue and they start making more and more management rights. They put their people into
Right.
it. That's when you start to lose your business.
I heard about that.
Yes.
That's the
It's,
that's the dark side of venture capital.
it's not dark side. That's how the game is played.
No, agreed. So, but for a business owner, it's a dark side because when you start business, like I say, a startup business is something that you love to do. But along the way, you might lose your business because of that.
Yes.
Mismanagement of your own, because of you, your self-made trap.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
So yes, last resort, venture capital, and essentially you have to be in a frame of mind to lose your business.
Yeah, venture capital have more money put in.
Correct.
But now, if your business, this is where the size of business come in. If you're looking for 10 million, you probably don't even have to go to venture capital. You can go to crowdfunding.
Right. Yeah, that was...
Crowdfunding, then everybody can be your investor by putting $100 each, and they just it's like a fund, investment funds.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that one later on, but we're going to go for a short break. When we come back, we'll talk about investors, how to convince my investor. We'll be right back. Okay, we're back here at Voices of Subanjaya. Adi keeping you company with Dato Nick Ezar. We're talking about startup entrepreneurs, or should you or should you not start, put that idea, fairy dusted, as Dato Nick said, to start a business. Okay, we're talking about venture capitals, commercial banks, investment bank. Now that I've chosen a financial institution, now how do I convince these investors? It's like doing a paper, kan? So you need to convince them. So please educate me on this one. What would an investor want to see or consider before they invest in my company?
To answer that question, I want to ask you another question.
Okay.
It always does that. The Chinese love to do that.
No, I know.
Answer the question with another
question. Yes, that's my forte also.
Okay. What is investment to you? Why do people invest? Basic question.
Why do people invest? Oh, to make money lah. To make more money than they have. To own the business that they like.
Yeah. That is very fair answer. The
Okay.
real answer is people want to invest because they want to improve their life.
By having more money?
That
No?
is the side effect of it.
How would you okay?
That's the intention. Why do you want to invest? Everybody say, oh, to make more money.
Yeah.
But why do I need to make more money?
Betul lah, to have a better life.
To improve your lifestyle. Your father always wanted children to be more successful than they are.
Agreed.
That is the basic that a lot of people miss the tree for the forest.
Okay.
So now you're talking about getting investor.
Right.
Why investment? Oh, you know this, they want to improve their life. So make sure your product, when you pitch the account to them, they want to come up with the money, right? To invest in you.
Right.
First, they want to know the person running the show.
Okay.
This is exact question all venture capital ask. They will not bet in it until they look at the personality involved. Idea itself does not really help. It must have, they look at the person running it, the integrity of the person, the focusedness of the person, the knowledge of the person, and the business model and revenue model of that business.
Understood. Yeah.
So if you have a great business with great revenue model, everybody clamoring to be your investor, you don't have to worry.
True.
But if your business model is lousy, you can only get fools to be your investor, and which is why there's a lot of fools in the market.
So what you're saying is, what I'm hearing what you're saying is
Read between the lines.
Okay, let me clarify. Is that okay? Katakanlah I have this big, huge idea.
Yes.
But I have a lousy investment scheme or business plan, and I go to this investor. They see it for the good that it can, so they invest in my company, essentially pushing me out later on.
Those are the good sharks.
Okay, all right.
Because it's a meat on the table.
Oxymoron, isn't it? Or good
It
sharks.
is. It is. Venture capitalists got to be smart, very intelligent people.
Agreed. Yeah, okay.
Because they can see, they understand, they have balance sheet for breakfast. How's that?
I've heard of that terminology, yes.
When I was fund manager, that's what I do every morning. I read the news and I digest very quickly. I can roughly, if you tell me your revenue, you take percent, I can tell you, I can put your balance sheet in my mind.
Wow.
What's your profit and loss?
Okay.
That's the kind of speed that venture capital have to be.
Okay.
But not all venture capitalists are smart, right? Not all.
Okay.
So now that's the nature of that business. So you, as a new guy into the market to start up, you have your plan. Now you need funding. So the best time to go funding, I always encourage people to go to the bank first. But the bank needs to have collateral one-to-one.
Right.
So then, because of that, you need to have people that trust you, who likes you, to be a partner with you.
I see. Okay.
So you cannot start up a business 100% owned by you unless you're rich to start with. If you don't have money, these are really where the equilibrium comes in. Then you have to negotiate, and you say, what's your worth? You must have your self-worth. Because if this business is based on focus on your talent, you're the person who runs the business, the investor have to believe that what you told them, that you're the right person to run the show, and they're convinced what your figures does add up. Then you talk about the share, how much money you need to raise. Now, people will not give you money when you have no money yourself. So you probably have to collateralize your house, your car, whatever asset you have, to put inside the business for people to trust you.
Right. To see
And
that.
that's the part a lot of people fail.
So to show the fact that you are serious
Because you're
about
committed.
it.
Yes,
correct.
the commitment is very important.
Agreed. And also what I'm
And you have to do it full time too.
Yes, not part-time, correct.
Yes.
What I'm also hearing is, besides all this, is the fact that you as a person must be convincing. That means the product itself is you, not only your...
Well, that's the beginning of your whole idea.
Okay. So if your investor cannot believe in you, therefore, it's not going to go anywhere.
All right.
No matter how good the product is.
Yes. Sometimes the market don't even know, cannot see the future of the product.
Right.
And there's a lot of story about that also.
When we keep talking about this, one person comes to mind, Elon Musk. I mean, his product, most of his products I can see is harebrained products.
Yeah.
He spent millions and it doesn't go anywhere, and yet the company is not only striving.
That's the nature of technology.
Yeah, I know.
All right. If you hit the right spot, the sweet spot, so they call, people will go for you.
Yeah.
And these people are the herd mentality. But do you think Warren Buffett will go all over that?
No.
So that's a different style of investment. Value buffet is believing in value investments.
Right, because
Technology is not, you know, the dot-com era.
Mm-hmm.
I remember Warren Buffett says that he still believes in brick and stone. And that's why he was not burned by all those. Of course, he missed out some good stocks.
Of course he did. But recently, okay, if you're talking about Warren Buffett, recently, what really got at me was the fact that he sold off his newspaper business.
Yeah, he should have done it 5 years ago.
I don't know, but he's saying to me, it's like he's saying, okay, it's toast. I mean, that was the word he used. Newspaper business is toast. I'm like, does that mean, I mean, this is aside from what we're talking about, does that mean our local industry, our local print media is going to die? As it is, it's already dying, right?
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna come back and talk about crowdfunding. You were talking about crowdfunding three talk sets ago, so we'll come back with that. Stay with us here on Voices of Subanjaya. Okay, we're still here at Voices of Subanjaya interview with Unicorn with Dato Nick Bolia. Dato Nick Ezar. Why do I keep mentioning your...
Because my father is more popular.
Yeah, I think so. I'm so sorry for that. Okay, anyway, we're talking about investor. We've talked about investor. Now you have been mentioning about crowdfunding. And I wanted to talk about crowdfunding because we want to do crowdfunding. And it's the hype. Nowadays, it's all the hype, crowdfunding. So what do you think about crowdfunding?
Crowdfunding is for a smaller amount. It works out very well.
Okay.
Okay? I haven't really get into the gritty bit of crowdfunding.
Okay.
So the best person to talk about in the market now, I recommend my good friend, Elaine Lockman of Atlas.
Next time, I shall go and talk to her. Okay. I shall approach her. But because we were thinking, we were thinking of doing a crowdfunding for our operational.
Get her, she give you the full spec of crowdfunding because she's very big in it.
And
one of the most successful.
And also see cafes, they do into crowdfunding.
Yes.
One of the cafes that I come across is Union Roasters.
To set up a cafe, you're looking between $500,000 to $1 million range.
Okay.
And that's the kind of money that crowdfunding can get involved with. But if you want to set up a factory to build our Malaysian flying car, definitely it's not crowdfunding.
No, I think that's government funding. No, I understand, yes.
So there is the level of money that you need to raise, which are the right person to go for.
Yeah. Okay.
With crowdfunding, they're willing to risk the capital for a smaller risk. Actually, you have mitigated the risk and spread the risk to across a lot more people. So if you're not successful, the end result only a few people, a lot of people lose with little money.
Right, which a lot of people don't mind. Yes, people
yes.
don't mind. Oh, 100, or 200, that kind of thing. Yeah, you're right. Oh, you're absolutely right about that.
100 is hundreds.
No, RM100 sahaja.
Yeah,
I can afford.
100 ringgit.
Yes, that's 100 ringgit. That's
in
all I can afford.
The viewer doesn't know what ratus is.
I remember on Kickstarter. I mean, this is a story that I just like to share with you. This is. I remember on Kickstarter, there was this product. There was this Swedish boy who travels a lot around our region, India, Vietnam, and all. These regions are very, very hazy, very, very dusty at that point. This was like years ago. I think about almost 5 years back. So he went back and he started this on crowdfunding. He wanted to do this masks, it's filtered with carbon. I think it's filtered. So you just change the filter, and now it is so huge. It's called Arenium. It is so huge that it comes with designs and everything. It's not your normal black. You just change the filter. That kind of success story that I really like.
With the current coronavirus, I think he can't even produce it on time.
No, he can't, because what I found out was when I went to the website, I wanted to order more because it's specified. You have to it's bespoke to your face. Okay. I wanted to order more. You know what they said? They cannot produce until end of April. Then more stocks coming in.
That's the big difficulty. This is around the world problem at the moment.
Which is a good problem for a small business.
What does it tell you? Danger is opportunity in Chinese.
Ah.
When there is a danger, there is opportunity to be made.
So I guess that is why
And then
right
the Chinese have a lot of saying. I'm sure some of those Chinese listeners would understand this. We have this thing called 成语, which is peribahasa Cina lah, in a 4-word punya quatrains.
Okay. What does it mean?
It's like, my horse running faster than yours, that means I get the opportunity. Which is what Robert Koch been saying in all his interviews.
Yeah, but that's natural. Even in the Malay environment or Malay society, and even
the English will call it early bird get the worm.
Yeah, something like that. Sama lah, kan?
Early bird gets the worm is different meaning.
Really? So there's a more detailed or in-depth meaning to Chingy.
To identify opportunity, not everybody can identify opportunity.
That's true.
That's a talent.
But that's also a startup. What a startup is all about.
The bird early, because after you identify them, the early bird gets the worm. But the point is, do you know where's the worms?
So gatekeepers.
Yes.
You are the gatekeeper. So you start
That is why
thing.
in the capital market, I always talk to private bankers.
Right.
That's where the smart money is. All the rich people will know what to do with their money.
Right.
I'm not listening to the politicians. Sorry.
Okay, but on the other hand, a politician should have a platform like this, like Voices. Anyway.
You're right. Is it a lot of people get confused about this fiscal policy and monetary policy?
Okay.
Those are totally two different policies.
Yeah.
Can you tell the difference, Adi?
Fiscal, you're talking about... no, I can't. Okay, I'm not going to put my foot in this. I'm just going to say no, I can't. Please advise me.
Monetary policies are the policy of the central bank who control the actual money circulation.
Okay.
Fiscal policy are the policies made by the government,
Okay.
the budgets and all that,
Uh-huh.
to which area, how they want to control those economy. Those are fiscal. Two different things.
Two different things. Yes, I can see
But
now.
most
that you
Malaysians mix it up. They don't even know which is which. They think it's just a term.
Okay. We shall talk about that on a different
Different level,
on a
yes.
different- Okay, another break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about paying yourself while you have your business. Right here on VOSJ. Good afternoon. You're still listening to Voices of Subanjaya. We're doing interview with Unicorn with Dato Nick Ezar, talking about startup entrepreneurs. Okay, Nick, every business advice articles that I've read so far, they always say, pay yourself. All right? Okay, chop before you say anything. But I have a friend who, or a lot of friends, myself included. The thing is, when we start a business, we're like, how can I pay myself when I want to make sure that the money that I have keeps the business afloat? Okay, I can see in your face. It says like, okay, your bad management.
No.
But yes, what do I do then?
When you set up a business, you have the first question you ask yourself is, are you going to be the owner or the employee?
Mm-hmm.
If you think you are part of the employee, then you pay yourself.
Okay.
But if you are the owner of the business, you have to take the risk. You might even lose your entire home just to fund the business, that because you're the owner. The risks are different being an owner. And of course, every business, either it is a partnership, enterprise, or a company.
Right.
Sendirian Berhad.
So now you're challenging what I've read
No,
so
I
far.
need to know which area you're coming from.
No, but
Because
regardless,
the idea of paying salary is a different type, different thing.
No, I understand that. If you're a worker, you get paid.
Yes.
Hands down, you
But
get
if
paid.
you're the owner,
Yes. But
do you want to be paid?
of course, I want to be paid because this is a business. But you see, okay, I have a business. I collateral my car, my house, my family, my cucu-cucu
And you need
semua.
to survive
I
some
need
money.
to survive, yes,
Okay.
to keep myself afloat and to keep the business afloat.
Do you have other investor in the company?
Let's just say for now, no.
No, then you can do whatever you want because it's your money, all of it.
Right. So whether or not
Or
I
you
pay
can either set aside this money that you need to survive while you're doing this thing, or you put it in together, you take it from it. Either way, it is not a crime.
Okay, because it's your own business.
This is your own money.
Because you don't.
But once you start having an investor, they will start questioning you.
Right.
For example, Sapura CEO, right?
Yeah.
Was considered one of the highest paid CEO in Malaysia.
I heard about that. Yes.
Because all his money are in the business. But you know how much he suffered from pouring it down to dollar something, the shares, and yet he doesn't let go. So this is where the business acumen comes in, and a fairness comes in.
Right.
Because he sacrificed everything for the company. He deserved to be paid that amount. Because world standard for oil and gas are very high anyway.
Yes, it is.
So, but those who complain, they don't understand that.
Because they just see
Just
the
like,
money.
oh, these companies get so little. Why you get so
Yeah.
much? Because they understand different business, different thing.
Okay. So
your question, come back to the same thing. If
Am
you
I-
own everything on your own, you decide whatever you want, there's no crime.
right.
But if it is a sin heart, if you're the only shareholder, at least 2 shareholders, kan?
Yeah, at least 2.
Okay? Fine, if you're majority. But when you start having an investor, this has to be formalized.
But once you have an investor, the issue
But then
of
make sure you also don't overpay yourself. That means if you do that, that means you are not ethical. You're trying to cheat your other investors.
market rate lah, pay yourself market rate.
Even sometimes you have to sacrifice because you are concentrating the business to grow.
Right.
You can always pay yourself later. Because you're the owner, your share worth money in the futures.
Okay.
You may be paid on exit,
Okay, understood.
but you need to survive. So what's your minimum? And make sure that it's not above the market, and make sure that your partners are happy with it. It's life is always about equilibrium.
Okay, so in other words, still pay yourself. Just depending on the percentage of what you pay yourself. Cool. All right, we'll talk about. We're gonna go for a short break anyway. Financial planning after this. Okay, we're back here at Voices of Subanjaya with Adi here on interview with Unicorn. We've got Dato Nick Ezar. We're talking about startup entrepreneur. Yes, Nick, there's questions about myself wanting to start up a business like this one that we start up. Okay, now that I've done all my financial planning, okay, I run the business at less operating expenditure, make sure that I can sustain, okay. In a nutshell, I've done everything right by the book. And yet, my business is still bleeding. Okay, what now? Do I stay or do I surrender?
You have 2 choices. When the business is bleeding, what is your maximum tolerance
Okay.
that you can tolerate before a shutdown?
I see. All right.
So when you run a business, nobody wants to shut down the business.
Agreed.
They want it to grow. But 80% of them will shut down. That
Agreed.
is normal.
Normal.
Okay? So when that happens, there are few personal questions you have to ask. There are few professional questions you ask. There are few economic questions you have to ask. And there are few financial questions that you have to ask.
Okay.
So with this, then it come up, your answer will appear. What to do next. Alright? Now the tough part about most businesses is that people do not know their tolerance level. They keep thinking that they are God. And that's when problem starts. And then it's a domino principle. One of the belief falls, everything will fall very quickly.
Agreed.
That's
But-
the nature.
No, I know. I understand that. I want to be in the 20%. I don't want to be in the 80%.
So-
but but that's just the thing. My business is still bleeding. You know.
So first thing is, you have to find out, like a doctor, financial doctor. That's the answer.
Okay.
You get a financial doctor, they will find the symptom, and they will tell you the cause, and they will
Right.
give you a solution.
Okay.
That's not the job for the lawyer. It's not a job for the accountant. Okay, it's job for financial doctor. But who are financial doctor in the market?
Yes, and they are. I mean, what the risk management people? No,
Yeah, I mean, accounting firm, right?
accounting firms.
They just don't do audit. They do management consultants.
Then okay, wait. Accounting and auditing, of course, they are different. I
Different.
understand. But
Accounting is very clinical.
Mhm.
Auditing is a policeman.
So
Okay, business consultant are the one who help you to build your business, to give you idea. From business management, they can always ask the accounting. They look at the accounting, the books, and they get auditor to audit, and then they find out a solution. They find out what's wrong, why you're bleeding, and they tell you which way to
Right.
go about it.
So I should look for an accountant who does auditing,
No,
forensic auditing.
a consultant
Okay, where that person, he or she, who maybe can look at
in
everything.
that area of his expertise.
Okay.
Not all consultants are good. To me, a consultant is very simple. It's just like, can I look at your watch and I tell you the time? In short, that's what it is.
Yes, okay, as my father would say it, you stress on the word CON for a consultant.
Yes.
Okay, all right, so we
Have I answered that question directly now?
Yes, you have. Thank you very much. So I look for a person who can, a consultant who can audit my company to actually tell me where I should plug.
But
the
it costs
money.
money to get consultant. So if you find your friend that good in financing and give you a free advice.
Which
Just
basically
give him for a lunch. Or something
which
like that.
basically means I don't pay myself. I take that money and pay a consultant. Pun boleh, right?
Yes.
Okay, okay, we're gonna go for a short break, another break, and then but remember, check us out on our Facebook at Voices Malaysia, or you can download our app on Play Store or App Store. Just search for voices.my, and we'll be back with more with on interview with Unicorn. So listening to Voices of Subanjaya, this is interview with a unicorn. Yes, our first interview, our first show actually. We're talking to Dato Ezar, talking about startup entrepreneur. Okay, as in Newton's third law of motion, for every action there is a reaction, right?
Correct.
My action is, to put it in perspective of a startup entrepreneur, my action is to have a business, and the reaction that I am anticipating is success. Okay, right. But success does not come in the form that I envision. Okay, so how then do I know if I am successful? How do you define successful?
Before you start the business,
Yeah.
you have an idea, you
Yeah.
know the setup, you know the law, you know the market, everything, and also you know where you want to end up with. That's a measurement that you have. And the market is on different side of the coins. They will determine that your plan, your product, your promotion is good enough or not for them to park their money to you.
Okay.
Only fools park their money freely.
Yes.
Right.
I think we.
So now we're
established
talking
that.
about smart market.
Alright.
Okay, the market always find equilibrium to the right product, the right pricing. So that's where I mean, at university you study, two subject on pricing theory itself. Okay, if you're doing an economic degree, you will know that theory of pricing is a big thing.
Okay.
Okay, for example, I just throw this question to you.
Yeah.
In the stock market,
Yeah.
what is the function of the bursar?
The function of a. Oh.
The bursar is a platform for that buyer and seller will meet and determine the market price.
Okay.
That's the most efficient way of determining a market price. So when you have a product in the market, you have to decide what's your pricing strategy, isn't it?
Yes.
In that pricing strategy that you come up with a final price for your product. For example, you want to sell a car. This is the price you're selling. How do you know that's the right price or not?
Right. Okay.
That's where the theory comes in and the practical and the cognitive, the connectivity from your idea to the product and the final buyer, and that will determine your success rate.
Okay.
But how do you measure success? Success means different thing to different people.
Yep.
I'm sure you heard about it.
Yes.
But here, it is your business. It's your value, the business. You want how successful. Sometimes the success is beyond your imagination. You're so successful than what you thought. I'm sure Jack Ma didn't think he's going to be so successful.
Yeah.
And then he's been telling people that he's trying to get into Harvard Business School for 10 times or something like that.
Yeah.
And didn't get. But now who needs? He doesn't need Harvard to give that validity for his success, does it?
So, but that's why he wanted to go into Harvard, because he wanted to him being into Harvard is a success. But then again, on the other side of the coin, like you were saying, what he has right now with Alibaba is
the market tell him you're better off than going to Harvard.
Do you think he's happy?
Now, happiness is another indicator again.
Okay, wrong question to ask. Do you think? Okay, never mind. I should know by now not to open another
another door.
Yes, with Nick.
Because there's so many variables that we can talk about.
Exactly. Okay, before that, let's just get on to the next question, right? Because about the economic cycle of a country. Does that actually, do you think it's, I mean, I think it's crucial, but in your point of view, do you think it's crucial that a country's economic cycle to a startup business?
I'm a very basic person in economy.
Yeah.
This is why I said there is two sides of a coin.
Okay.
And the economists always like say on one hand and the other hand, right?
Yeah.
If you have no hand, how are you going to talk about it?
So that's why you use coins.
So you use a coin.
Okay.
So the two sides of the coin depend with it. For example, like now what Malaysia is going through with the new government changes, blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of changes. There are people pro-government, there are people go against the government, and there are people still love boss Gu.
Yes.
I find this very strange thing in Malaysia. But I'm not political here.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm just looking at economic numbers, right?
Right.
So the stock market hasn't improved.
Yes, you have.
And I still think the market will go to about 1430 points. And I've been maintaining this since PH took over.
I've heard this is the first time we sat down and chat with you.
Okay.
Yeah. I chat with you, sorry.
I did say that to you, right?
You did.
This is what, over a year ago?
Yes, over you.
Am I wrong?
I can't say because I have
but
not
now the market is 1542 yesterday. From 1880.
That's a lot of drop.
Thank you.
That's a lot of drop.
So,
but
is that something to do with early bird catch the worms? No. The guy who know where the worms are the masters.
Agreed. Because okay,
I foresee that.
Okay, I base but I base my on a more what do you call this, layman term,
Okay.
My ASB percentage has dropped tremendously.
Okay.
Okay. Right now, EPF is telling me, hey, don't take out money and put in the ASB because our percentage is higher than ASB.
I disagree with you. ASB is always RM1.
It's fine.
Amanah Sambuina Putra, one unit, RM1 at all times.
Okay.
And that's where normally I say that, talking about Ponzi scheme, blah, blah,
okay. Paham.
which we're not going to talk about
okay,
here,
we're not
right?
talking about. Okay, let's.
Okay, that is a bad example.
That's why I said layman term.
Okay. The unit trust funds are based on net asset value, which is the total value of the portfolio divided by number of unit in circulation. So it all up and down according to the market.
Right.
When in Malaysia, this is a biggest problem. Most of the fund managers in town cannot hedge their portfolio. You know what hedging means? If my price is at, let's say, 1880, let's say 818 ringgit level. Now it go down to 15 ringgit level. How do I keep my valuation still at 18?
Yes.
That means I have to hedge, have to sell the contract and buy back later. But our futures market are not liquid.
Correct.
You know why? Design flop again.
Okay.
But I'm not here to
Yeah,
criticize, right?
Yeah.
But I know the reason why we have all these problems. And most fund managers, most of them don't even have a futures market license. The Security Commission does give fund managers to have a chance to be a futures market fund manager. But not many are pursuing that. So all the big government bodies like PMB, for ASB and all that, for EPF, for Tabung Haji and all this, if they are in equity market, they do not have that basic instrument for hedging, which is important. To me, it's a must.
Yes. You don't. Okay, let's not go
So,
there.
when the market come down, ultimately, we have to suffer.
Right.
But I love politics. They say it's only paper loss if you don't realize it.
Uh-huh.
So, have a belief in it.
My paper is a lot of numbers on it, okay?
As long as you don't get out, you will not lose because it will recover. So that's the best
But
political line.
I have heard that for so long, for the longest while.
And it will be told again and again for the next 20 years.
Stay in it.
Yes.
You're not going to lose it. You're not going to lose it. But it's just like sooner or later, I'll just sell out lah. And like, what's the point of waiting?
I think we divert our attention
No, we have.
already. Yes.
So, in a nutshell, economic cycle, a country's economic cycle is very crucial to a startup business. You would say that,
Yes.
right? So, meaning to say, yes?
Then you go back to Maslow theory, the basic in human needs.
Okay.
If you're in food business, clothing business,
Yep.
transportation business, or now communication business,
And-
people will always need it. It depends on you got bigger volume or lesser volume.
Right.
But you're in other industry, let's say if you're selling carpets
Yeah.
or high item goods, you are suffering
Yeah.
because the economy people are refused to spend. Now, there is a concept called multiplier rate. Are you familiar with that?
I've heard of it, but I don't think I know.
Then you talk about the monetary policy, right?
Okay.
M1, M2, and M3. This is economic theory.
Okay.
M1 is actual ringgit that being printed.
All right.
For $1, what is the value to you?
Supposedly $1 lah.
Legal tender.
Legal tender, correct?
Economic value, that's
I
where the
think-
multiplier rate comes in.
Correct.
That $1 can be passed to 7 times.
And it would drop.
No,
Okay.
it's like leveraging on it. It's multiplier. The economic is 7 ringgit per every ringgit.
Okay.
Think about that.
You know, that's an awesome thing. I always wanted to understand, to know, like, does the value of our goal define or
No.
define the fact that how many cash or
Oh,
money is printed. You know,
this
that kind of,
is
I know,
so
it's a different
basic,
thing.
Adi.
I know, it's not basic to me.
Okay. In 1990, during the Nixon, the Brentwood is the one that take the gold standard is taken off.
Okay.
And I can understand it cannot do that because gold standard, if you dig out all the gold, that means our wealth is only based on gold.
Correct.
There's no multiplier rate, there's no derivative market to it.
Agreed. So
So
that
that's why the gold is no longer become a standard.
now it doesn't. Yes, but
Because
at that
economy.
point,
Then we talk about this, then Bitcoin. How do you value Bitcoins? It's supply and demand.
oh my god.
Oh, if I start talking about this,
I
we can last
know.
one whole day.
Okay, we're gonna go for
So
a
I'm
break.
sorry to close that door on you.
We're gonna go for a break, and then when we come back, we'll talk about Dato' Nick's current venture. Okay?
Okay.
We'll be right back. Okay, good afternoon. We're still you are still listening to Voices of Subanjaya. This is Interview with Unicorns. Remember to check us out on our website at www.voices.my for all your needs on Subanjaya area. Okay, we're still talking to Dato' Nick Ezar here about startup businesses. Okay, but right now I want to know what's happening with you. Okay, currently you're attached to Maristus University, right? And you set up their wealth management program. Wanted to talk to
I
us about
blame this to Tun Mahathir.
it? Okay, why?
At 92 years old, he's still Prime Minister, he's still working. How can I ever retire?
Can't.
Therefore,
We
at
are
my
all
age now in the
challenged.
60s, early 60s,
Okay.
I'm being challenged to work.
Okay.
All right? Because a lot of my friends who are 60 retirement, it's difficult to retire because you are so used to do a lot of things, right? You cannot undo it. So what I'm doing now, I am as a consultant
Okay.
to Meritus University.
All right.
They are offering the first wealth management master degree in
Master.
Malaysia. It's the
I-
first.
I saw that, yes.
There's another master degree in financial planning offered by SEGI.
Mm-hmm.
Apart from that, there is no master degree in this except you have your MBA,
Yes.
finance, marketing, and all kind of thing.
Mm-mm.
But when you talk about this financial planning, right,
Mm-hmm.
this is my passion
Mm-hmm.
because I've been in this business for since 1985
Okay.
in this market.
Okay.
So I have seen the boom and the bust, and I have I'm not saying I'm a visionary, but I understand how thing works. So what we have done, instead of just going to get a master degree, I have embedded professional qualification. For example, if you want to be an accountant, all the university degree give you a bachelor of accounting,
Yes.
bachelor of business, finance, and all that, right?
Standard.
But you're still not an accountant. You still have to go to ACCA or LCCI or ACA,
Correct.
or you have to go to CPA,
Mm-mm.
Certified Public Accountant. And that's the body to control you and register you as an accountant. And of course, there's an exam to it, right? The modules. So, what better for me to do to embed those modules into the master
So
degree?
you cut short.
Of course.
So I
Now,
save time.
that's innovative.
Yes, because I save time as a
So
person.
by doing our master degree in wealth management at Meritus,
Uh-huh.
when you finish, it's a 2-year course for part-time, 1 year full-time, you will end up with CFP, Certified Financial Planners, IFP, Islamic Financial Planning, and now I am still working with FAA, the authority, to accredit our master degree as Certified Wealth Managers,
Wow.
which is a new certification. There's
Yes.
nothing around the world doing this. Now that's called innovative.
Yes.
So I'm very passionate about it. But who should do this course?
The accountants.
No,
Okay.
not only the accountant.
Okay.
Basically, the banking industry is moving into with all this technology coming in.
Right.
But Malaysia is a very fragmented market.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to buy unit trust, the agent will shove you to buy their fund. And these agents are dedicated to their company. You can only buy their funds. You cannot buy other company funds. You have to go. How many agents? There are about 40 companies in the country with about 576 funds listed. How do you select a fund? You don't talk to all these companies, do you?
Yes.
And
You
it's
don't.
all based on personal relationship.
Mm-mm.
But these agents are only minimum requirement is SPM.
Yes.
But our people with money are graduates.
That's true.
Do you want to believe their
Get someone
advice?
like. But if they've
Not
been.
quite. So now the bank get into this business. Now the bank selling insurance product, banking product, and security product, unit trust and all that. So my target should be the banks. And the bank, they have their commercial bank, they have their priority client, and they have a private banking. The private banking are the top 10% of the populations. I think minimum is about, you must have 5 million ringgit or something like that to be on the private banking. In Singapore, if you're looking to HSBC,
Mm-hmm.
if you have 10 million USD, only become their clients. So that's different bank have different
Yes,
market
of
segments.
course.
For priority banking, most bank, if you have an FD of a 250,000 or 150,000, you are upgraded from a normal customer
I see.
to a priority banking.
Okay.
So different lane for you.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
The world
Parking kat
is
depan.
very kind to the rich. Always remember
I
that.
know. Sad, right? Yeah. Okay. Continue.
So, this program, I would like to see Malaysia would change the market because now you have CFP, 3,000 CFP registered, 180 IFP, and they can't really make money because Malaysians still don't understand the value of good advice. And people still go to the agent getting 5%. As long this 5% still on, people will still be buying unit trust, put money, listen, because it's not a bad investment, but they don't really understand your entire profile, your risk profile, where to allocate your money, how to protect your assets, how to do your cash flows,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
Financial planning is only give you a plan. It's up to you to follow it.
Yes.
So a financial doctor is look at you and tell you what's wrong with it, what is your capacity, what you can do. Not everybody can run 10 seconds for 100 meters, is it?
Correct.
So that's where the financial doctor comes in. I mean, I'm talking about this in a very figuratively speaking.
Agreed.
So if there is a market to have a financial doctor, When you have your tooth pain, you do not go to the plumber,
Okay.
right?
Betul?
So if you have financial problem at the moment, where do you go? You go to accountant. Not all accountants are rich. Not all they're not investment. So when I graduate, I have to make a decision. Do I want to be a professional accountant, which I had a chance, or do I want to go investment? I say investments are far more creative. You need higher IQ, higher creativity. All right, and you have to have a predictive. You must be analytical.
So that appealed to you.
That appealed to me. That's why I always love investment. And I want to improve my lifestyle, of course.
Of course, of course.
And you know, my first year at university, I already bought a BMW at 21 years old.
Yes, I
Cash.
heard that story, how you made that kind of money.
Yes.
Yes, okay.
So that it shows that
Yeah.
that's the difference. So
Wow, cash, huh?
with this, there are, for example, Maybank. Right? I'm trying to collaborate with Maybank. They have about 50 private bankers. Okay, our university pride is to be like no other university because it's the true cost. Our graduates get subscribed because this is a problem. A lot of universities give all this degree, they can't get a job because it's not related. So I've tailored to make a such a way that if you get our master, you are also a certified wealth management. Now what else can you do?
Yeah.
And all my future graduate will be snapped up by the banks
Of course.
easily.
For
And
now.
that will set up a new platform. And then with the bank, they are able, because of IUTA corporate address, they can sell other funds. So they are not strict to sell only one company funds. And that means people who benefit this are the public, the investor. Because at the end of the day, no matter how you set up your work machination, the machine, financial machine, you still need people to fund it. All right?
Okay.
So these people in Malaysia, the investor has been taken to the cleaners for a long time. So I need to change this.
So this is your one
This
step.
is my vision
Okay.
for community service.
All right. So, do you have? Okay, so that's what Mauritius University is
The master degree in
degree
wealth
that you
management
you
that I'm
bespoke
existing them. Yes.
doing it for them. Okay, another break, and then when we come back, we'll see what Dato Nick has to say for the rest of the year. Listening to Voices of Subanjaya, Adi here keeping you company on Interview with Unicorns with Dato Nick Ezar. Remember, do check us out on our website at www.voices.my or download our app on Play Store or iOS Store. Just search for Voices MY. Okay, Nick, before I say goodbye to you, do you have any last things you say about, as a startup entrepreneur? For me, I'm going to start a business soon. Just to, tap me out, because you say a lot of things that I'm getting scared about.
It's very difficult to give a very specific answer.
Understood.
Let me generalize what we talk about today. If you want to do a startup, make sure you know the business you're in, you have the knowledge, you have the contact, you have the funding, you have a path, a plan, what you're going to do. And you must be able to sustain to a certain point. And this is the best advice I can give you. You put yourself in the future and look at when you're at the crossroad to shut down or not to shut down. Are you capable? Can you handle that pressure?
Okay.
Don't let the business kill you, right?
Right.
So you must know it's time to quit. Sometimes that's the best thing to do. All right. I gave you a historical figure.
Okay.
There was a war. The saying is kill Darius.
Yes.
So that means you pinpoint the problem. If you kill the snakehead, the rest will
They
follow.
will fall.
So to me in business, that point is important. Put yourself in that particular point. When do you want to shut down?
Okay.
Because 80% say that you will. Now that's a realistic.
Okay.
Okay, so same thing with that. You look at the market.
Mm-hmm.
I think Malaysian market still not ready.
Mm-hmm.
With this coronavirus,
Mm-hmm.
the spillover will come through. Banking stock will come down. All this because people are not on the streets in China.
Right.
All right. Now you see China and America. They don't even raise the tariff now.
Yes.
They don't talk about the war.
Yes.
Suddenly, this divert all the attention on the war. And yet, this will affect the transaction. So now with this, I think if you are buying Lazada, Alibaba, business should be good. Because people don't know it's all online business.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Now, remember I said to you, you must identify the opportunity.
Correct.
So I will avoid banking stock at this moment.
All right. I'll go into online.
Okay. So this is where you must know how the correlation this thing comes about.
Okay.
So I think Malaysian market still got room for it to go down further. With this political...
To go down further, did I hear you say that?
Yes. I have been maintained. The absolute down is about 14.30.
Yeah.
But anything around 14.50, you can go inside the market and just wait for it. Because
Okay.
when it go up very fast. But there is no more positive news than more negative news in the market. All right? But if there is some calamity happens, the absolute base for KLCE is 1,200 points.
Wow.
I hope it doesn't happen.
I hope so too. Not for that. Your prediction to happen.
Because you're still paying $1 for one unit at 1,800 level. Now the market is 1,002. So figure out.
I know. Okay, thank you very much, Dato Nick, for being here at Voices of Sumanjaya. Really appreciate it. We're going to let's do another one on a different subject.
Yes, welcome. Thank you for this opportunity. I really enjoy it.
Okay. Okay, that's it for Interview with Unicorn. Next week, we'll probably be interviewing.
By the way,
yes.
I like you use the word unicorn. It don't exist.
I know, exactly, doesn't it? So anyway, I was saying next week we will probably be interviewing a small business owner to see how she makes out in the economy world.